I oftentimes say that I teach owners, general managers, salespeople how to click with technology and with consumers. So the clickers came into play one day and they've been with me ever since. And everywhere I go, people have them and they know them about me and they click them, and it's really a fun thing. So when I say the word click, feel free to click along today. If you agree with the point I'm making, feel free to click along. These are officially dog training devices. The dogs in the neighborhood are howling right about now because we're driving them crazy. Do not take them home and give them to your children, because then you will never hire me, because you will curse me for the rest of your life. What you want to do is take them and give them to your most hated enemy's children, or your relatives' children, and let them take them home. Okay? How many of you have had the pleasure of taking a small child shopping? I was in the grocery store the other day and found myself in the cereal aisle with a mom and a little girl who looked to me about 2 years old. And she was having a meltdown over wanting the cocoa frosted fruity whatevers. And her mother wanted to buy her the healthy cereal, of course. So she is crying and she is screaming, and there might have even been some feet stomping. And I'm relating to this because I'm the mom of a 5-year-old little boy who's been known to throw a fit or 2 or 3. And I watched this mom very calmly say to the little girl, "Molly, it's all right. Don't be upset. We're going to get through this quickly. Go home, have a snack, maybe even a popsicle, take a nap, and we'll go on with our day." I think, wow, impressive. I might have lost it. We get to the cookie aisle. Guess what happens again? Oh, she's at it again. This time it's over the Oreos. And I hear her say, "Molly, it's okay. Calm down. We'll go home. We'll have a snack and we'll have a nap and everything will be fine. We're almost done." Then we arrive at checkout about the same time. It starts again over the M&Ms, except this time it is DEFCON 5 meltdown. I mean, full on, kicking, screaming, laying on the floor. And I see her continue to maintain her composure. "Molly, it's okay. We are done. We are on the way to the car. We will go home, snack, and a nap." And as another mother, I really had to commend her for just being so calm under pressure. And I said, "Ma'am, I am so impressed with how you've handled Molly. That is amazing." And she said, "Oh, no, honey. My name is Molly." This is Dorothy. Oh, boy. Yeah, the life of a mom, of a woman. We have to maintain our composure in all circumstances, right? And what I want to do today is teach you how to increase your sales and maximize your profitability and maximize your marketing budget by effectively selling to women like me. Because we do, in fact, buy cars. I want you to meet Molly. Molly is a wife, a mom, an entrepreneur, and she recently bought a new car. As a matter of fact, you might be surprised to know that women buy 50% of the new cars in the United States, and we influence the purchase of 80%. 80%! Wow! I bought my first car when I was 19 years old. How did a 19-year-old happen to buy her own car? Well, I might or might not have allowed my boyfriend, who might or might not have been forbidden to drive my car, I might have allowed him to drive it while my parents were out of town dealing with my terminally ill grandmother, and he might or might not have totaled it while they were gone. I called to give them the happy news that a semi-tractor trailer had run over and crushed my little Mazda hatchback, when my parents replied, "Well, honey, you can go and get yourself a new one. Good luck. So as a 19-year-old female, I marched right into that dealership. I did my homework and said, I have 2 hours before I have to be at work. You should pay $10,100 for this car, and I'll sign for it right now if that's what you'll sell it to me for. And that guy was like, who are you and how old are you? Are you old enough to buy this car? And he sold it to me, and it worked out okay. On other occasions, I've been in to buy a car with a significant other. It was my car, but we went together. And the salesperson talked to my husband the entire time and asked him all the questions, even though it was going to be my car. And in fact, my vote counted more because I was the one that had to drive it. So we want to be careful about how we approach women, both online as they research their options and what dealership they want to go to, and offline as we work with them one-on-one to sell them. Molly is not only a car buyer, but she is a digital diva. Molly loves technology. You might be surprised to know that women actually lead the adoption of technology. It used to be that for technology companies like Sony or Apple, their primary target audience was men 18 to 35, because those were who we considered the techies, the gamers. Today, not so much. An article entitled, "Sorry Young Man, You're Not the Key Demographic in Tech Anymore." It talks about women leading the adoption of things like internet usage, smartphone usage, text messaging. Did you know that the number 2 group after teenagers who use text messaging are mommies? We are texting fools because it's a quick way to communicate and run the organization, which is your family. It's not just for teenagers and young men techies anymore. Skype and many other types of technology, women are leading edge on this. So that begs the question, for those of you that sell cars with technology features in them, how well are your salespeople demonstrating those features? And in their mind, the back of their mind, are they thinking that those are going to largely appeal to the male buyers? And here's really the ultimate key when we're talking about selling to women. There's really 4 main things that a woman buyer wants to hear or wants to know. They want to know, number 1, how will this car make my life more convenient? And more importantly, how will dealing with your dealership when I need service and maintenance or I have an accident, how will you make my life easier? Women don't multitask anymore. Oh, that's too simple. Article came out and said that actually we do what's called multi-minding. Our mind is literally in 6 places at one time. Some of the women in the group are doing it right now. You're planning yes, thank you. And I don't take it as an insult because I do it too. You're writing out a list of things that you need to stop by Walgreens that you forgot on your way here. You're thinking about what party you're going to go to. You're wondering which shoes will look good for the party that you're going to tonight. And you're listening to me and you're doing it all at the same time. Yes, thank you. So the idea is, I need convenience. I need you to help me make all of that easier. So when my car needs service or I need to go buy a new one, how are you going to make that so simple, so easy, and convenient for me? Next issue for women, safety. That's so important to us. We need to know why this vehicle or why working with your dealership is safe for me to do so. I'm not going to get taken. I'm not going to get not the service that I need. I'm going to get what I need when I need it, and it is a safe place for me to do business, and the car itself is a safe product for me to drive and for my family. Okay? Women, like many other buyers, are also very focused on value. But here's the thing you need to know about women. When I say value, I don't mean cheap. There's a big difference between something being valuable and being cheap. Would you agree? Yes? The difference is one may not be the lowest price, but for the benefits, because it's more convenient, or because it's safer, or because I flat out like it and it's stylish, I'm willing to pay, and I perceive it to be of value. Because women are often the keepers of the checkbook of their household, the gatekeepers. They feel the need to maintain and make sure they're getting value. Okay? And then lastly, of course, and it's similar to safety, but there are health. Women are always thinking about health and wellness issues, which, of course, you can always tie into car purchases in terms of even fuel economy and just the experience of driving it and how it makes you feel when you drive it. Those are really our four main issues. So as you think about what I'm going to be presenting in the next few slides, think about it through that lens. Here's another fact. Women actually spend more money as a result of their online research. We drive the dollars spent. Gentlemen, how many of you have had your significant other come to you and say, this is the vacation I want to take next year. I've researched it and printed it out, and here it is. I'm getting some nods. How about this is the new refrigerator I want? Thank you. This is the new car I want. We do the research online, not to play games. Yeah, we like to get on Facebook and chat, but we are shopping, people, and we are buying. Thank you. So we are spending money. There is money to be made with what I am teaching you today. I am not teaching this to you to give you busy work, to make you think that you need to be looking up your high school boyfriend or girlfriend on Facebook and waste your time. I am here to talk about increasing your sales straight to the bottom line. Now, here's the other thing. Next one. Digital divas are social. Oh, yeah. 58% of Facebook users, women. Women. How well are you using the social networks to build the word of mouth referrals for your dealership? Because that's really what social media is all about. If you are approaching social media as a lead generation tool or a website traffic tool to build traffic to your website or to build you leads, you're missing it. It doesn't do that, and you'll be disappointed with the results. Social media is word of mouth on steroids. Yes? Write it down and hold it till the end. I will have time, I promise. Thank you. Social media is your opportunity to build word of mouth referral sales. I, as a woman, post on Facebook that Joe at XYZ dealership treated me so great, gave me a great price, and I will absolutely be going back there, and my girlfriend's antennas go straight up because they believe me. We listen to each other for advice. We want to hear what other women have to say about your cars and your dealership. And if they have great things to say, we're all in. Now, of course, you can run contests and promotions on social media with specific calls to action for a short amount of time, run campaigns on them. And of course, especially if you do some of the paid advertising, you can generate website traffic and you can generate leads. There are ways to do that. But as a long-term, big picture strategy, what I've implemented successfully has been building word of mouth referral sales. That's really where I see it. Okay? 64% of other moms ask for advice. 63% consider moms credible experts. See, we think we know it all, and we're going to ask our friends what we should do. And that's really maybe even true, not just of women, but all consumers today. We trust our friends. I mean, all we've got to do is dial up Angie's List and find our next contractor, right? Or before you buy that book on Amazon.com, what do? You read the reviews. And even if you were about to buy it, if you read a negative one, what happens? You may or may not buy it. Now, in your mind, you might be thinking, and that's exactly why we aren't participating in the social networks, because what if somebody posts something negative about us? And some of you may have already even had that happen. And what I will say to you is, it very well may happen. And oftentimes, the speed of your response to that negative review and how you respond can be as impressive and actually build referral sales even greater than other things that you post on there. People want to know that you care and that you will take action. And if you show that through your response, most people understand that you can't make everybody happy all of the time. The key is the speed of the response and the professionalism of the response. And of course, if someone continues to badger you to become obscene or completely irrational, you can always delete their comments and you can block them from the page if you need to. I've not had one get to that point. In fact, I could count on one hand the number of negative reviews that I've ever seen posted on any of the sites we manage. It just doesn't happen. You want to know why? Because their name's attached to it. It's not an anonymous thing on Facebook, right? So they have to put it out to their friends and family and admit, maybe I didn't make the best buying decision, and people are reluctant to do that. So I don't have nearly that issue as I think we all thought we would going into this. So let's recap. Number 1, women buy cars. We've got that one. Number 2, women are technology savvy. Oh yeah. We shop online for cars. We spend money. We want to hear from other women, and we use social media to seek out those recommendations. So what I want to do for the balance of the rest of our time is talk about some specific tips. What exactly could you be doing? I want to give you examples that would be female friendly and that would help you put some of this into action. There was a Dealer.com study that recently came out, 2012 Dealer.com study, on how people use social media, women also specifically. And you can Google this, Dealer.com's 2012 study. Pull this up. It's a great PDF document. I'm going to summarize it for you. Their numbers indicated that 84%, this is men and women, 84% of US vehicle shoppers used Facebook. 84%. 38% of the new vehicle shoppers used social media, and 27% used Facebook. So this was not just a tool to look up high school boyfriends and girlfriends. This, in fact, was a tool used to research the purchase of a vehicle. They also indicated, for example, if you do the math, this is the return on your investment. 9.1 million vehicles sold last year. That would have been 2012. If you take the numbers from the previous slide and apply the percentages, that's 2.4 million sales influenced by social media. Wow. 1.2 million of those sales made by women influenced by social media networks. Wow. How well does your dealership appeal to the digital divas? Are you getting these sales, or are one of your competitors getting these sales? That's the question. If you look at the quote here, for a typical dealership, this is right out of the study, averaging 1,300 new car sales per year, more than 350 units nearly 30 cars a month are sales influenced by Facebook. Question you need to ask is, do you have a way right now to track? How many of you are tracking your sales sources? Got a hand here, couple hands, few? You need to know where those sales are coming from. Anybody have anything close to this? 30 cars a month influenced by Facebook? Yes? Oh yeah, she's saying, oh yeah. Yeah, okay. The beauty of internet marketing and why I fell in love with it more than a dozen years ago and went and got a master's degree in it. It's because internet marketing is trackable. In the good old days when I used to sell print advertising for specialty publications, and the owner would ask me, how many sales did this print ad get me? I had no answer for that. Zero, zip, zilch, none, nada. Not nada, nada. None. But then one day, somebody showed me how you could take a tracking report, and for every banner ad, every website click, every Facebook click, you would know exactly how many people clicked on it and what they did afterwards. It's almost kind of scary. If you're on websites you're not supposed to be on, somebody knows. I'm just telling you. All right, so this is step one. You've got to know your audience. It's critically important that you don't assume that all women are the same, because they're not. There are single women, there are single parent women, there are married women, there are women with small children, teenagers, empty nesters, baby boomers, retired. So you don't want to assume that we all want the same thing. What I would do is I would conduct a demographic survey of your most recent buyers. Take a couple hundred of them. If you don't have this data already, find a way to collect this, maybe when you do the closing survey or the customer service survey that goes out afterwards. But you need to know who are your buyers. It may turn out women is not really, they really aren't even a target market for you, and this isn't a good plan for you. Who are your buyers? Now, based on my statistics, I'm willing to bet you that women make up a significant portion of your buyers. But if that's not the case, c'est la vie and move on. Either way, you need to know who your buyers are. How can you appeal to your fans if you don't know what your fans want? So demographically, age range, income, household size, education level, gender. You need to know all of these things. And then you train your salespeople, take each target market group and say, with this group, convenience and safety are number one. Demonstrate this car to me, showing me and emphasizing convenience and safety for a mom of small children. Now, come over here. Show me convenience and safety for a retired baby boomer who doesn't have any grandchildren and is more interested in luxury. Show me the car with that. Take every type of lifestyle of those niche groups that you most often sell to. I love to do this in sales training. I love to get every different profile, if you will, and say, show me this car with the exact same one, show it 5 different ways. And you know what? They can't do it. And it's not their fault. We haven't trained them right. But our salespeople have such canned pitches. It's the same thing every single time. And you know what women want? They want to know that you get us. When you don't get us, we get irritated, right? Okay, I'm going to show you a bad example, but it's funny, so I'm going to show it to you. This is oh, you know what I'm about to do. This is so hilarious. This is a car dealership out of North Carolina that developed a series of funny car commercials, taking the bad approach.
Can I help you, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm interested in this SUV.
As soon as your husband gets here, I'll be more than happy to show you all the features.
Actually, it's for me.
Well, then no need looking under the hood. Here's where the cup holders are, and there's the rear view mirror. That's where you can put on your makeup. And this is the steering wheel here. It's what you use to drive with. Hey, honey, come on back here.
Tired of being badgered? Come to any Johnson Automotive dealership. Great deals, great service, no badger.
Yeah, they did a whole series of them with credit problems and everything. That was just happened to be catered to women. But, that's exactly what we find, not necessarily that exaggerated, but we just have these canned presentations. I really prefer to coach salespeople to have a planned presentation, not canned. You're not going to necessarily say the same thing to every single person. Instead, we're going to practice and train on several key groups that we sell to the most often, and we're going to learn ahead of time what are the bullet points of the features of our dealership and this car, of why they would want to buy it from us. And that's critical. What we want to learn to do is sell to the lifestyle. The woman in this photograph has a very different lifestyle than I currently do as the mom of a 5-year-old. I am aspiring to this someday, and I will get there with some good planning, right? Right. But we might want to buy the same car. That's what's interesting. Yes, certain cars lend themselves to certain groups, but not always. I might see the particular features in the car one way, she might see it a different way. So that's where the right discovery and listening comes in. We've really got to train our folks to learn to do that. Now, it's not just the demographic profile of your customers that you should be concerned with. You also want to learn the psychographic profile. No, I did not say the psychosis, because they're all a little crazy, right? No, not the psychosis, the psychographics. Psychographics is the study of consumer motivation. Why do people buy what they buy? What we find, the researchers at Stanford initially did this research in the 70s. And they found that consumers buy for 3 reasons, 3 different groups, if you will. There are the principle-oriented buyers. They buy because it is American-made. They buy because you are family-owned. They buy because it is a great value, and they want to support a local business. You see, principles. They buy from principles. Next group, status-oriented buyers. They buy because that red-hot car makes them look good. And their friends will be impressed when they come driving up in it. And then you've got your experience or expressives. And they buy cars to express their personality. They buy the bright yellow Hummers. And they were some of the only people that bought the PT Cruisers. Kidding. Okay? They buy because it expresses who they are, whatever product it is. So you've got principle-oriented buyers, status-oriented buyers, and you've got expressive-oriented buyers. So not only do you want to look at who your target audience is demographically, but you want to look at it from a motivation perspective. Why are they buying these vehicles? Or from your dealership. You also want to think about, where does your average buyer, where do they eat? Where do they shop? Are we talking TJ Maxx? Are we talking Nordstrom's here? I had a person in the earlier session say, but what if it's all over the place? I said, sir, I would be willing to bet you that if you did the survey, you would find some major trends that will come forward, some similarities. There might be several fan groups, but you will find some similarities in the buyers. Now, maybe not across several dealerships, across several lines of product, ranging from 15 grand to 50 grand, But among similar product types, you're going to see trends. Now, it's important that you don't assume. For example, don't assume that a 55-plus woman is not on social media. That's a mistake. In fact, they are the #1 fastest growing audience on Facebook. Because 55-plus women have figured out if you want to know what your kids, grandkids, and Aunt Sally is up to, you got to get on Facebook. And they have by the millions. You also don't want to assume, for example, that multicultural women aren't using smartphones. That's not true anymore. Multicultural women's cell phone adoption is skyrocketing. So you don't want to make any assumption about any group. Instead, do your research, do your homework, who's buying your cars, then start to niche your audience. And of course, you can do this by asking for feedback. A survey, one-on-one interviews, focus groups, salesperson feedback. You know, your salespeople are your eyes and ears. Listen to the most experienced, smart ones that are engaged and on the team. Listen to what they have to tell you about who their last 10 buyers were or 25 buyers. Look for commonalities there and then begin to target market accordingly. Now, here is really the key question of what it all boils down to. Why do women buy from you? One of my favorite exercises to do is, and you should go back and do this, next time you have a company-wide and office-wide meeting, you ought to ask everybody to write that down and fill it in on a piece of paper and see what kind of answers you get. You could make it more general, why do people buy cars from us? But at the end of the day, your answer, or the answer, and there may be multiple, that's okay, but you want to prioritize them, get like a top 3 to top 5, is really the key to your entire sales and marketing plan. Why do they buy from us? What about us? And what I want to tell you today is women will buy, and I gave you 4 reasons earlier. Anybody want to throw one of them at me? Why would they buy from you? Because you made it more convenient. Ooh, I'll click you for that. Nice. Because you presented to them what? What was the next one? Safety. Thank you very much. Trust. That's right, relationships, you made it safe, yes? Value, yes. And what was the next one, the last one? Health and wellness. Yeah. I promise you. So you need to be thinking about what could you do to make it more convenient? What could you use an app or a pre-scheduling technique or way that would make it super easy for women just to text you to schedule something? Do they have a specific contact that is always their contact that they can develop a long-term relationship with and will get to know them? That's the kind of stuff women want. That and wine. I'd have a wine sampling night where you can get your oil changed and let us drink wine at the same time. Although you might want to cut us off before we leave too early. But, think about what Oprah did for book clubs, right? Oprah took a very basic concept of women sitting around talking about books and built up $1 jillion publishing enterprise off of it. She made top 10 lists and made all those people and herself a lot of money just because she made it like womany. Now, an example of a campaign that's done well in terms of positioning itself for women is the new 2013 Chevy Malibu campaign. Have any Chevy folks in the room this morning? Okay. Nobody's published the results of this. I have no idea if it's produced any sales or not, but I can tell you from an outsider's perspective, the way that it's been positioned, the graphics, the copy, the concept is perfect, spot on for women. Now, due to copyright issues, I was not able to show you a screenshot of it. Instead, I have to describe it to you. Here's how the campaign works. Chevy partnered with Isaac Mizrahi, who is a fashion designer. He is well known in high-end fashion, but more recently, better known in affordable fashion because he designs a lot of the clothes for Target. Chevy Malibu, four-door, kind of family mom-type car, figured out that another incoming trend, I would add this number 5 to your list of 4 things I gave you already, would be the 5th one I forgot to say earlier, would be style. Women want style. And we want it for a good value. That's why we shop at TJ Maxx and not Walmart. You with me? Difference is TJ Maxx, I get to be a fashionista, Maxxinista, for about the same thing as I could buy it at Walmart, but it looks a lot better from TJ Maxx, right? And I can go to Target, I could buy the same vacuum cleaner at Target or Walmart, but because Target has the cute red one that matches the rest of the stuff in my house, like my throw pillows, I will pay twice for what I could buy the gray, ugly, industrial-looking one at Walmart for, because it's cute. Right? Any women gonna click for that? It's cute. And it's not so much more expensive that I can't justify it. You with me? So Chevy figured out that if they partnered with what was considered to be an affordable style icon, it could help them move the new Chevy Malibu along. But they did something even smarter. You ready for this? In the campaign, they featured 4 Isaac's Malibu style muses. These were women of various backgrounds, 4 of them, that are the featured style advocates, or what's the right word, consultants to Isaac. And they were exactly the target market that's going to buy the car. And they had their faces all over the campaign. Is that not genius? It's genius. So they were advising him and Chevy as to what to put into this car. Awesome. One of the other smart things they did, let me go here, one of the muses is Kara Gordon. She actually works for Chevy as an acoustic sound engineer. So they featured her in a lot of the marketing and in videos talking about, as a mother, she knows how important it is to have a quiet car. And I happen to be a sound engineer, and I'm one of the muses for the new Malibu. Genius, right? Amazing. They deployed this on Facebook, Twitter, Living Social. It had its own blog. Now you're thinking to yourself, look, I ain't Chevy, okay? This sounds expensive. I don't have that kind of money, and I totally get that. I'm trying to show you the concept of it, and then I'm going to give you tips that you could do yourselves or have a company do that would not cost you millions of dollars like this campaign, but is along the lines of this campaign, okay? So in thinking about what Chevy did there, what they did was they figured out what their audience cared about. So once you figure out who your fans are, what groups you're serving, then you could start to figure out what content on our Facebook page, on our website, when we meet with them in person, what are they going to care about most? And then how can we deliver that kind of content and engage them? Because the challenge of online marketing, and particularly social networking, is we've got this huge adoption rate, and all these people on it, and all these people using it. And because of that, we've got all of this white noise that's so irritating, and people posting pictures of their dinner, and I can't take it anymore. Quit it. And I don't want to play Mafia Wars, and I don't want to play Farmville. No one's clicking. Are you with me? People, and unless you have really great shoes, stop taking pictures of your feet. I saw this parody video of Instagram people who constantly take pictures of their feet anymore. What is that? Stop it. I don't want to know that you're going to the bathroom. I don't want to know that it's just crazy. It's crazy. So you have to think about, this tool could be a benefit to us. We could make sales from this, but we have to do it in the right way. So please don't just run out and start tweeting because you came to this and doing things are going to irritate people, because it is irritating. Instead, what do they care about? If you will sit down and brainstorm, what are the top 10 most frequently asked questions that, in this case, women, but you could do this with any of your buyers. What do they most frequently ask us about the product, about our dealership, about service, maintenance, whatever areas you want to focus on? Get your salespeople in the room and ask them, what are we most frequently asked about? Then you turn that around into your social content. That is what you start posting about. Because if you post about what they ask about, you will post about what they care about. Got it? Yeah. We are so tired of people posting about themselves all the time. You know, if we all believed Facebook, we would all be constantly on fabulous vacations, 20 pounds thinner, have rock star boyfriends, and be shopping all of the time, because it's like this kind of fake world where we're all just doing great. Except for that one cousin in Idaho who's always a downer. And we all defriended her because who could take that every day, right? We've all got one of those. But most of it's like, it feels very overinflated, right? And the other problem with it is it's sell, 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 sell. Quit selling. How many of you have a DVR? Why do you own a DVR? Sir, why do you own a DVR? So I can skip them. Yeah, baby. We don't want to play those commercials. We want to skip them. And I don't want commercials in my Facebook news feed either. Now, I'm talking about Facebook a lot today. Obviously, there are other great sites. It's just, in my research and prepping for this, I spent, I can't even tell you, 100 hours prepping for this. And I looked at so many pages, and they weren't really too good. So what I figured I would do is focus on Facebook, because I feel like that should be the core foundation. It has the greatest population of users. If you don't have that one, you need to start there. If you want to build out from there and build on Twitter and build on Pinterest and build on Foursquare, or Yelp is great for car dealerships. Yelp is awesome. You know, you can build out a strategy, but I feel like the core has to be a Facebook page. So that's why I'm kind of focusing on it today, because we have a limited amount of time. Your online content should demonstrate through testimonials and through other posts that you are easy to work with, that you make things convenient, that you are helpful. And what's most effective is if you can get some of your fans to post that for you. So it's not you telling it, let them do the talking. Now, photos and videos are number one. And again, I wasn't able to show you screenshots. There are several really good dealer pages out there. And you just kind of start in your city and start going through and looking at them, and you'll see examples of what I'm talking about. I saw on one page, the owner who was scuba diving had somebody take his picture underwater, holding up the weekly ad that they put out every week. It was cute, it was hilarious, it was fun. And that's the other thing, is it's social. And women, we like social things. We go to the bathroom in groups for a reason. It's a one-on-one activity, but we like to go with our friends. Okay? Lighten up on the social. When you're doing the social networking, quit selling and quit being too serious. Just keep it professional and keep it clean, obviously. But besides that, have some fun. I saw several really good dealer pages that did a caption this, and they would put funny pictures up that relate to cars, and people wrote in, and you're thinking, who has time for this? Somebody in their cubicle that's supposed to be working. Did you know the peak traffic time online every day is 1 o'clock in every time zone? It's true. You know, they're supposed to be working, but they're on Facebook. They might as well be hearing from you and having fun with you. Why not? Videos are fantastic. You can do videos of maintenance tips, frequently asked questions. My favorite is behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. What if you were to have your service men and women filmed in short clips to introduce them and put them on your website and on your social media? You get Alfred, the he does the oil changes. And you ask him, how long have you worked here? 20 years. What do you like best about it? Blah, 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 blah. Tell us about your family. Oh, I've got 2 kids and a dog and cats and a bird, and our favorite thing is to do this. And then you put this up on your page. Who would like that? Women. Because we would love to know more about the person changing our oil. That would just tickle us to death. The men, you people, you're just like, oh my God. I don't have time to learn about him. But we would like it. So behind the scenes stuff is really fun. You know who does that very well that you can follow is Disney. I learned this concept from observing Disney online. Disney's blog does all this behind the scenes of the Epcot Food and Wine Festival, behind the scenes of the haunted Halloween Mickey Mouse party. And they talk to you about how many thousands of glasses of wine they pour during the Wine and Food Festival and how they prep all that food. It's really kind of interesting. And that's when it's got me to thinking about when you are authentic and you show people mostly good stuff, but you show them how you work and how you operate, and you let them get to know you, their hometown dealership with hometown people who work there. You are wearing the white hat. And this industry needs white hats, yes? Because you get perceived with the black hat most of the time. And when you let them get to know your people in a controlled way, you are giving them that chance to wear that white hat. Awesome. Testimonials, oh yeah. I found one dealer Facebook page that just had the best testimonials. And the only way I can figure they did it is they gave their salespeople permission and probably incentivized them to get a photo before the person left that day with their new car. Because every time I checked this page, and it was mostly women, were standing there like in front of their new car, and they were like, yay, they got their car. And then later in the day, they're writing in to the caption, to the photo, thank you, Jeff, it was incredible. This whole dialogue is going back and forth, and all her girlfriends are going, ding, 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 oh yeah, I want that one now. It was incredible. Hold a friend-a-thon with your sales team and your office staff to see who could get the most photos or email testimonials that could go onto the page, because you're going to have to incentivize them. Some of your team's going to get this right away, and some of your team will resist. And definitely have one person who posts onto your page and let your team feed the post to that person. Do not make all of the salespeople administrators and let them hog wild post on the page. That is a recipe for disaster. Don't do that. Have somebody that it's monitoring and managing it. That way they speak in the voice of your brand and of your dealership that you're comfortable with, but they alone can't get enough good stuff to fill up the page. They're going to need the sales team to feed them like journalists, feed them the stories. So if you incentivize them and help them understand what you're doing and train them what you're looking for, you can get good content. It's everywhere. It's all around you. Articles are great. If the press happens to miraculously write something positive about it's a great time to buy a car or car prices are this or that, post that stuff, link to it. If you get to see a good industry article, Chevy gets another shout out here. They had an article on how women's shoes and cars were shoe designs were a big influence. It was a fascinating article, perfect for women, right? Post to it, link to it. A lot of you, what you could do is if you were to pay attention to the manufacturer's page, because they're putting big bucks into their Facebook pages, if you were to simply repost some of their material that as it applies to your dealership, simply hit a share or hit a link to it, you could repurpose a lot of what they are spending a lot of money to generate. So there's content right there. You can do polls, trivia. If you have a big sports team in your town, get hold of that. Become the dealership of that sports team. Start having a weekly contest about trivia just really get into that. Anything like that, local, that you can hook into, that gives you that hometown community feeling, go for it. Name the car in this photo, name 3 reasons why someone would buy a car. All of those are great types of posts you can do. Lastly, on the posts, be careful. Sony, I saw this with my own 2 eyes. I can't even make this one up. Sony posted on their page, if you were stranded on a desert island, this was Sony Wireless, what one device, electronic device, would you want to have? And guess what they all wrote in? An iPhone. Oh my God. Don't fish for compliments. If you don't know the answer to the question, do not post that on your Facebook page. That is really embarrassing. Okay? Be very careful. Really, when you boil down the dealer.com survey, it found that it is your dealership loyalists that are the ones on the social network, and they want to brag about you. They want to talk about you. So it's harnessing those loyalists to connect to other women and finding ways to increase that word of mouth and those referral sales. That's really the power behind the strategy that I'm sharing with you today. How do you get started? Well, if you're getting started, you're going to really have to focus on building up the likes of your page on Facebook, for example. So, having an internal contest to see who can bring in the most is a great way to get started. Of course, putting the social media icons and QR codes, that's a QR quick response code. They've kind of been a flop in marketing, but there's a couple of really good things that they're really good for still. Signage is probably the one thing that they are excellent for. People can simply take their QR code app, scan this barcode, and it hot links them to anything online. So you could have your link to your Facebook page embedded in that, and then every flyer, every postcard, every sign, the door signs as they come in, all of that could have that on it and give them a way to quickly scan in and link over and like. You can do email campaigns. Those are very effective in building up your likes. Of course, you may want to hold contests to incentivize people to like, to build up the fan base, but you will need to be very proactive to get those likes. Okay? What do women want? Well, we want easy online research tools. We want our friends to tell us where to buy and what to buy, because we believe that more than we believe you. We want fast and convenient, and we want to brag about what we got, right? A genie appeared to a man one day and said, "Sir, I am here to grant you one wish. What would you like to wish for?" He said, "Well, I've never been to Fiji, and I've always wanted to go. But it's such a long plane ride and expensive, and I'd like to drive. So could you build me a bridge that would be long enough to get me to Fiji, that would have gas stations and hotels along the way? That's my wish." The genie says, "Sir, that's an impossible wish. That's 6,000 miles of bridge and hotels and gas stations. No, you're going to have to pick something else." And he said, "Well then, I'd like to understand women." And the genie replied, "How many lanes do you need on that bridge?" Thank you very much. Thank you very much.